Now listen, I do not claim to be an expert at any of this. I am just a simple reader, and I read about it and decided to move forward with the diet. So a lot of people ask me, what did I do? What did I use? How did it become successful for me? Because I ended up losing 30 pounds. So I wanted to get on here and share with you what I did, how I lost all of the weight, and some of my tricks that I used to help me. Okay? So let's get started. Hey friends, hey family, I'm coming to you from my kitchen because I've been asked many times to do a video on how I went from this to this. So I wanted to show you that what I did and how I did it. Let me start off by first telling you my personal journey as to how and why I started on this change, this new lifestyle change. Last year, I was suffering from several migraine episodes. It was so bad that in the month of March, I had migraines about maybe say 25 out of the 30 days of the month. The 30, what is it, 30 or 31? I don't know. Out of all of those days, I had migraines. And I couldn't figure out why. Make a long story short, it turned out that I had very low iron, and my low iron was attributed through some other personal things. Ladies, you understand. So I went on a journey to try to figure out, well, maybe if I lose a little weight, if that's gonna help me with my issues that I'm having. So I started this diet called the Body Ecology diet, or also known as the bed. It's a bed. Have a nice. Have a nap. The bed is essentially designed to rebalance your stomach ecosystem. So we all have a special ecosystem in our gut of good and bad bacteria. And those are all necessary for us to break down the foods that we eat on a consistent basis. So when your body ecology, or when your ecosystem in your stomach is not at its peak, it can cause overgrowth of bad bacteria, like overgrowth of yeast, also known as Canadian. Guys, I've never known how to say this word. So Candida, I think that's what it is. But it's like yeast. Like women, you get yeast infections. Kids get thrush. That is also living in your gut. And if you don't check your gut, it will overgrow. So I decided to try this diet to see if that would kind of help with what I was personally dealing with. As a result, I did have, and before we get to that, how you know that you're having issues with your gut, or maybe this is the best diet for you, is antibiotics. If you use them often, antibiotics kill off the disease or whatever is attacking you, but it also kills off those good bacteria in your gut, making it a breeding ground for the bad bacteria to overgrow. Now listen, I do not claim to be an expert at any of this. I am just a simple reader, and I read about it and decided to move forward with the diet. So a lot of people ask me, what did I do? What did I use? How did it become successful for me? Because I ended up losing 30 pounds. So I wanted to get on here and share with you what I did, how I lost all of the weight, and some of my tricks that I used to help me. Okay? So let's get started. Okay, number one, in order to combat bad bacteria, you have to introduce good bacteria into your diet. So the best way to introduce good bacteria is through, you probably guessed it, yogurts. Yeah, usually when you're trying to get rid of a yeast infection, you use yogurt. Okay, here's the thing though. The thing about this diet, it happens in two phases. The first phase, we start by eliminating a lot of stuff and making sure that we give our stomachs the best ecosystem and situation where it can perform at its peak. Meaning, we want to make sure that the foods that we're feeding our stomach will allow it to digest completely. Okay? So, the bad diet, and I'm going to put over here, I'll put a link or I put a picture of the book that I read, the Body Ecology Diet book. I read 2 of them. I started off with 2 of them. So I'll put those pictures here so that you can go and look for them and read them yourself. I'm just giving you the Cliff's Notes, okay? Not an expert, just giving you the Cliff's Notes. There's several principles. I encourage you to read those principles of the bad diet. You want to eat and concentrate on eating food that are less contractive and more, foods that are, okay. You want to concentrate on eating foods that are less contractive. So foods that are less contractive include the raw vegetable juice, let's see here, kefir, raw butter, ghee. Those are all less contractive. Now, in your first phase, you want to start off with green veggies. Okay, no brainer there. You can eat them cooked or raw. Raw definitely is the best because you get most of the nutrients from the raw versions. You can also eat soaked and sprouted almonds. That's one thing that you will find, that a lot of the grains that we eat, you want to pre-soak them because they are hard to digest in a normal stomach ecology situation. So you want to make sure that you're not overworking your ecology as you're repairing it. You're giving it its nutrients that it needs up front. Also, ocean vegetables, like my favorite, which is seaweed, dried seaweed. Give me the seaweed. I'll eat that raw all day. So you want to munch on those. Those are great for snacks. There's different versions, but you have to be careful because it does sometimes have sugar in it, and we'll talk about that in a second. Winter squash, root vegetables, all of those are good for your first phase. And lastly, for your protein, quinoa is great as long as it's soaked, it's pre-soaked. Millet and buckwheat. Okay? These are all great items that you can use you can eat in your first phase. You also can eat meat, so don't be afraid. Yeah. You can eat shellfish. I liked a lot of shrimp. You can eat fish, chicken, beef, any other bird, duck, whatever, eggs, and sea salt. Those are all the major staples in your diet that you will enjoy. I tell you that I didn't realize how good an onion was and how sweet it was until I started the Body Ecology diet. Guys, I'll talk to you about that in a second. So, some of my favorite things that I ate while on the Body Ecology diet, starting with the yogurt, was this yogurt, this cacao. Okay. This yogurt it have live living bacteria in it. And if you don't believe me, leave this boy out for like 5 days and you'll hear them things going. I have an experiment happening right now, so I'll show you that later. This stuff really does help. It's delicious. It is not like weird tasting. If you're not a coconut fan, then this might not be the yogurt for you, but I certainly suggest trying it. There are other plant-based yogurts that are good, that I've liked but haven't liked as much as I like this one. So this is one of my examples. Also, I use, oh guys, this right here, the collaborative plant-based yogurt alternative. When I tell you this is a treat, this right here, my friends, is a treat. I'm gonna tell you how I ate it in a second. Now, you're probably asking, well, why can't I just have my regular Yoplait yogurt that I always get, or my regular Greek yogurt that I always get? Yeah, in phase 1, we are removing dairy altogether out of our system. Why, you say? Because dairy can cause inflammation, and we don't want that inflammation in your stomach, because that's what's feeding all of those yummy, those bad bacteria. They're getting really like, I want it, okay? The other thing that we're not eating is sugar. We're not having any sugar of any sort. That includes honey. Now, there is an alternative that's not sugar, but it's a plant-based sweetener, and that is stevia. I use stevia, this brand, the liquid stevia. I've enjoyed it, so I use it, and sometimes I mix it in with my collaborative yogurt, and it just makes it much easier to mix in. When I'm on the go and I'm at a restaurant and they don't have sugars for my tea, which I'm going to talk to you in a second, I will carry like some of these stevia raw packets in my purse with me. No excuses, okay? So I just mentioned tea. Now, one of the things about the Body Ecology diet is that, like I said, you want to make sure that you are giving your stomach an environment in which it can digest the food the best. Now, we love water, and I'm not saying don't drink water. You want to drink plenty of water, but drinking the water and the time you drink the water is really important to your success on this diet, okay? So if you want water, drinking water first thing in the morning, a full 8 ounces, is important. Make sure the night before you place by your bedside a glass of water, so when you wake up in the morning, you'll have a nice warm or room temperature drink of water, so that you're not shocking your stomach and you're really just waking up those juices. Okay? That's going to be helpful, because the tea I'm going to tell you about you're going to need it. You're going to need the water. Now, let's say you're hungry and you really want some food, but you're also thirsty. Probably start with being thirsty first and drink some water. 15 minutes before your meal is the soonest you want to drink water with your meal. And this is gonna be blow your mind. Don't drink water with your meal. It dilutes your digestive juices from being able to really digest the food that you just ate. Okay? I'm gonna say that again. Don't drink water while you're eating your food. What you do want to do is you want to have a cup of tea. You can have a cup of tea, you can have some broth, some soup, whatever it is, but just not water. When you're ready for water, you wait an hour after you've eaten to get that drink of water. Okay? So here are some of my favorite teas. Let me show you. Number 1 is the Move. God, oh, you can't really see it. do it like this. It's a smooth move. This stuff is to help aid you in moving, your bowels moving. I suggest you take this when you are at home. You drink this when you're close to home, or you can drink it first thing in the morning, and about 4 or 5 hours later, you want to make sure you're at home, because when you gotta go, you got to go. Anywho, so that's one of my favorite teas. If you don't want to go so harsh on your stomach, you can get the chamomile tea. I like the chamomile with lavender. There's another chamomile with ginger that I like to get. So these are definitely options that you can use for yourself. The other tea that I like to drink is the Everyday Detox. I'll drink that maybe with my lunch or my dinner. So I generally will drink the smooth moves with my breakfast, and then this with my lunch or dinner. And then when I'm feeling froggy, throat coat. It is my favorite. Okay, throat coat is where it's at. So those are the teas that I drink with my dinner, with my lunch. I didn't talk to you about fruits. You probably asked, like, what about fruits? Can I eat lots of them? No. You can have blueberries, strawberries, black currants, and cranberries. Why, you ask? Oh, lemons and limes all day. Because they're tart. They're really low on sugar. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to starve those bad bacteria. So usually for my breakfast, every morning I would eat these I Heart Quinoa flakes. They are flakes, they are easy to digest, and they are delicious when you pair it with blueberries and yogurt, or strawberries and yogurt. Guys, I remember, I'm gonna tell you a story real quick. I was sitting here eating, I was at work, this was before COVID. So I'm sitting at my desk and I'm eating the this meal, and it's for the first time. I'd never eaten it like this before. I was like, let me try it. Guys, I'm sitting at my desk and I'm going, like I'm audibly making now noises. And my coworker pops up, look over our cube, and he says, what is going on? I said, you've got to try this. It's so delicious. It really is a treat. So those are the things you can eat. Quinoa. And quinoa, it smells and tastes like, you put some cinnamon in this boy, it smells and tastes just like oatmeal. So I say go for it. The other thing that I would always eat was eggs, scrambled eggs. I would have, do I have vegan cheese? Let me see if I have this vegan cheese. Scrambled eggs with this vegan cheese. I have it, yes. Scrambled eggs with this, oh my goodness, guys, when I tell you this cheese, oh, it is so good. It literally does taste like cheese. I would eat this scrambled eggs, and then I would top it with, bear with me here, I would top it with this kraut, this roasted garlic kraut. I'd either do the roasted garlic or the jalapeno kraut. And maybe some guacamole. Sprouts sells this chimichurri guacamole that's to die for. It's delicious. I may put some broccoli in it, some onions, whatever. I just load this up, and guys, when I tell you it was filling and delicious, it's filling and delicious. So that's how I would eat. And being at work, you know, I had one of them scramble makers, so I'd make scrambled eggs in the microwave, and it'd be just divine and delicious. So that's what I would eat for breakfast. Now for lunch, I would get the mixed greens with I think it was the baby kale and baby spinach. I would get that, and I would have red onion, cucumber. I'm not a big tomato fan, so I didn't put tomato in it, but I guess you could put tomato. Probably stay away from as much tomato as possible, but cucumber, any other little green vegetables. I probably even sometimes put broccoli in it, whatever. And I would eat that I'd also eat that with the guacamole that I got from Sprouts, the chimichurri. It's a specially made, Sprouts thing. I would eat that and then top it with some of this and maybe some chicken or shrimp or whatever I had. And I didn't even have to add dressing, because with the sauerkraut and the other stuff, it was enough. It was enough dressing, if you will. But if I needed dressing, I could quickly mix up like a raspberry vinaigrette. Have a great recipe for that as well. Very easy, just whip it up real good, and it's quite delicious. So I'd eat that for lunch, and then for dinner, it would be a whole gamut of things. I would eat lots of roasted vegetables. That was definitely my favorite. I roasted broccoli. I roasted Brussels sprouts. Oh my goodness. I roasted onions. Sweet yellow onions are amazing. They are so delicious. So delicious when you roast them. I roasted that. Just anything else that, I personally like. Kale. Having nice things there. I also ate some red potatoes. So these red potatoes were another one of my staples that I would eat. Like I said, you can still have meat, you can still have chicken. When you're seasoning your meat, you want to make sure that you're using a quality salt. So not just any old table salt that you want to use. You actually want to use sea salt. And if you can, get some Celtic sea salt. It's just a better quality. You don't have to use a lot. You just sprinkle a little on. That's what I would use. You have to be careful with the spices that you use. Oddly enough, some of the spices have sugar in it. Like I have this lemon pepper spice that I'm like, oh, this should be good. Guys, it has got sugar in it. Why? Why does lemon pepper got sugar? No wonder it's so good. So those are the things that I would suggest you eat. I also, hold on, there's one more thing that I would eat. Hold on. Okay, Dr. Pragers is my favorite veggie burger. They have this one is the black bean. I'm not really a big fan of this. I just wanted to show you the packaging. And then too, we're not really eating beans, but we're not eating beans on this diet. But they have a California burger. It's a California veggie burger that I like to eat. And I just put some mustard on top and eat it with some red potatoes and then go about my day. You want to, if you are going to have protein, you want to have just one protein at a time. So you don't want to have a veggie burger and some chicken, one that defeats the purpose. But you want to make sure that if you are eating actual meat, you want to avoid the starch like this. So you want to eat just straight green vegetables with your meat. So I would eat a steak, broccoli or kale or anything like that. But I wouldn't eat a steak with potatoes, broccoli, and kale, or a steak with quinoa, broccoli. No. Just if you're gonna have the steak, you have it without the starch. Lastly, I wanted to share in between meals. So your stomach is gonna talk to you. It's weird. It's gonna say, I'm hungry. I want a cookie. You think it's your mind. No, it's not your mind, guys. It's your stomach. It's those bacteria in your stomach telling you you want a cookie. You want some ice cream. For me right now, it's froyo. I want some froyo. You tell Satan, get thee behind. Get thee behind, Satan. And one way to really snuff them out is through this. This is called You Got This Inner Eco. Now, I bought this. The Body Ecology Diet talks to you about a kefir. It's a drink. They have a starter for it. You can find that kefir at natural grocers. You can get it, cultivate it, make the kefir yourself. But I didn't know that at the time of when I didn't know it was at Natural Grocers. So I ended up going to, where was I at? Oh, I was at Whole Foods, and I saw this. And I was like, let me try it. It doesn't have any sugar. It's probiotic water. It does not taste like coconut. No. No. Okay, I'm going to tell you what it tastes like. It tastes more like vinegar than it does coconut. So get the probiotic coconut water, unsweetened, original, and you literally are just taking a shot, like that much of it. You're not even that much, probably about that much. You're taking a shot of this. Get one of your kids' medicine cups or your medicine cup, pour a shot and take it. This is what you're drinking. I promise you, when you feel like you have that urge, come and get a shot. Urge for a cookie, urge for some, it's empty. My kids even like this. They can I get a shot, Mom? Sure. Come get a shot of this, and it will snuff out that craving that you're having for the sweets. I promise you. Essentially, that is all. That is all that I do. It's a commitment. It's not cheap. So there are some ways that you can cut corners. Like, I did try making my own sauerkraut. I did make my own sauerkraut. It was interesting. You can too. You can make your own fermented vegetable, whatever the fermented vegetable you want to make. You can make fermented carrots, fermented cabbage, fermented whatever, fermented cucumbers, which are pickles. Don't get the pickles from the store, because those pickles are not good. But here's the other thing, is that when you open this bag or you fill this bag, you know that in here are the working probiotics, because they're growing, they're expanding, and they're letting out gases. And so with your just the package of sauerkraut that you see down in the shelf, they've killed off all those bacteria, and they're not doing anything for you. You have to go into the refrigerated section to get the kraut. Refrigerated section. I bought this from Sprouts as well to get the kraut. You can also get kombucha in the refrigerated section. I've eaten that. That's been delicious too. All the wonderful spices on top of the burger. Ooh, guys, y'all making me excited. So those are the things that I ate. I will give you a list of the book that I read, and then all of these things that I showed you here, I will list them out for you so you can go and experience them for yourself. I am back on the journey because I jumped off. I jumped off for my anniversary and never got back on the boat. So, it's Corona, guys, Corona. So I'm jumping back on the boat. As you see, I have all of the ingredients that I need here to jump on the boat. I just need to do it. So tell me, are you going to jump on the boat with me? Are you ready? Do you want to lose? Listen, you will find that you will start dropping that weight, because your stomach is now officially digesting the food properly. When it's not digesting that food properly, it's sitting in your stomach and creating sugars. So if you've been told that you're pre-diabetic, or you're just still having sugar problems, come join this diet with me. We'll do it together. I've already got 2 friends that is joining in on it with me. We've got this, guys. We've got this. All right. Love you. Bye.